by Travis Hunter's girl now. She posted the heart eye emojis and the dollar emojis. Travis Hunter is gonna be in the NFL. If you fuck another athlete, that's like his friend. I don't give a that's like his friend. His fraternity, which is very small, it's kind of so. This is why I can't understand when these women go from one athlete.
Every NFL star dreams of fortune, fame, and glory, but for Travis Hunter, the spotlight has turned into a nightmare. His wife, Lionel, isn't just trending for standing beside him, she's trending for the scandals tied against him. From leaked videos to whispers of betrayal with one of his own teammates, the drama is spiraling out of control. And the internet? It claims to have the receipts. Is this the biggest betrayal story in NFL history, or just another rumor gone too far? Let's dive in. Lionel Laney, the wife of rising NFL sensation Travis Hunter, has been trending, but not for the reasons most athletes' partners dream of. Her name has surfaced in one controversy after another, with whispers tying her not only to her husband but allegedly to one of his teammates as well. And yes, the internet claims to have the receipts. Hunter's story itself is remarkable, from dominating the college field to landing a staggering $46 million rookie contract in the NFL. But alongside the fame and fortune came an entirely different spotlight, one cast on his personal life. At the center of it all is the woman he married. Their romance traces back to college, around 2022, though the details of that timeline remain fuzzy. What began as a typical young love story quickly spiraled into drama once Hunter's career took off. Their relationship played out like a reality show online, every move scrutinized by fans and critics alike. The first major scandal erupted in December 2024, when leaked clips and swirling accusations painted Lionel in a compromising light, images that many pointed out matched her tattoos unmistakably. From that moment, their marriage became less of a private bond and more of a public spectacle.
Same tats, too. A eater! Ain't no way.
Fans weren't about to brush this off. Almost overnight, Lionel's loyalty became the internet's favorite debate topic. Online detectives began piecing together a bigger picture, spotting her cameos in music videos, playful online antics, and her suspiciously close ties to other athletes. To many, the pattern felt too glaring to ignore.
So I drink. I don't drink a lot, but I drink, and I used to party and stuff, and he would literally drive me, sit outside for hours while I'm inside like partying, and then take us home. Like, he never tried to be like, oh, just because I drink.
The drama only grew louder when rapper Bow Wow entered the conversation, publicly urging Travis Hunter to cut ties with Lionel. The reason? Screenshots began circulating online that appeared to show her leaving flirty comments on NBA star Anthony Edwards' Instagram. Even though those posts were later revealed to come from a parody account, the spark had already hit the powder keg, and the narrative was too juicy for the internet to ignore. Soon after, DJ Academics weighed in, suggesting that while some of Lionel's actions could be shrugged off as harmless, others clearly crossed a line. But the real shocker came in the summer of 2025. Just weeks after Hunter and Lionel exchanged vows in May, whispers started flying about a secret affair between Lionel and one of Hunter's own teammates on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The allegations weren't light either. Claims of explicit DMs and even pregnancy rumors set TikTok ablaze. Clips of Lionel crying on camera only intensified the frenzy, with fans dissecting every sob and every word, convinced her breakdowns hid deeper truths. To make matters worse, reports surfaced that Hunter had ignored a warning from his mentor, Deion Sanders, who advised him to secure a prenuptial agreement before the wedding. Hunter brushed it off, and now, insiders say that decision could cost him dearly. Rumors suggest Lionel might pursue a $40 million payout, despite the marriage being barely 3 months old. By August 2025, this wasn't just internet gossip anymore. It had snowballed into a full-scale media spectacle, an off-field reality show unfolding in real time, with Hunter and Lionel trapped in the center of the storm. While the whispers about Lionel's supposed affair with a Jacksonville Jaguars player kept circulating, fans turned into detectives. With no name confirmed, every handshake, sideline glance, and cryptic Instagram post became evidence in the court of public opinion. People were obsessed with figuring out who the mystery man might be. And truth be told, this kind of betrayal wouldn't be unprecedented in the NFL. In fact, one of the league's most infamous locker room scandals still gets mentioned to this day. It involved Golden Tate and Russell Wilson's then-wife, a situation that reportedly fractured a championship brotherhood. Back in 2014, the Seattle Seahawks looked untouchable. Russell Wilson had just led the team to a dominant Super Bowl 48 win, and wide receiver Golden Tate had his best season yet, posting 64 receptions for 898 yards. On the surface, their bond was airtight, teammates, friends, practically brothers. Wilson's marriage to his high school sweetheart, Ashton Meme, seemed equally solid. The two had been together since 2006, surviving long-distance stretches before finally marrying in 2012. Ashton was a constant presence in the stands, cheering as Wilson rose to stardom, and Tate became one of his most reliable weapons. From the outside, it all looked flawless. But cracks began to show in March 2014 when Tate signed a $31 million deal with the Detroit Lions. Officially, it was framed as a salary cap move. Yet just a month later, on April 22, 2014, a bombshell would rock the team and forever change the narrative. Russell Wilson's divorce announcement came in April 2014, delivered through a carefully worded statement asking fans for privacy and prayers. The timing immediately raised eyebrows. Just 2 months removed from a Super Bowl victory and mere weeks after Golden Tate's move to Detroit, the rumor mill went into overdrive. By May 2014, gossip outlet Terez Owens fanned the flames by claiming Wilson had uncovered an affair between his wife, Ashton Meme, and Tate. The story, citing anonymous franchise insiders, spread like wildfire. Fans quickly connected the dots: Tate's abrupt departure, Wilson's divorce, and the crumbling of one of the league's most feared duos. The narrative practically wrote itself: a teammate's betrayal, a broken marriage, and a championship bond shattered from within. Tate, however, was quick to fight back. He dismissed the rumors as ridiculous, stressing on Twitter that Ashton was nothing more than friends with his then-girlfriend Elise Pollard. But as is often the case, once a rumor catches momentum, denial rarely kills it. If anything, Tate's rebuttal only seemed to pour gasoline on the fire. By January 2015, the chatter had grown so loud that Tate tackled it directly in a blog post for the Cauldron titled "Silence is Golden," where he flatly denied any wrongdoing. A month later, he doubled down in a TMZ interview, labeling the rumors as bull and admitting his frustration that Wilson never stepped in to squash the story. That silence, Tate revealed, stung deeply. On the field, Tate thrived, posting a career-best 1,331 yards in his first season with the Lions. Off the field, the scandal shadowed him relentlessly. He and Elise endured harassment from opposing fans, with slurs and insults hurled at them over accusations that were never proven. The reputational damage lingered for years. Fast forward to July 18, 2023, Golden Tate appeared on KJ Wright's KJ All Day podcast, and the bitterness was still evident. He recalled reaching out to Wilson back in 2014, hoping for his quarterback support, but never receiving it. Wilson had since moved on, starting a relationship with singer Kira in 2015 and marrying her the following year. The only public defense Wilson ever offered Tate was a single, vague tweet in 2014. For Tate, that silence spoke volumes, and the wound never fully healed. Golden Tate may have been forced to endure years of hushed whispers and sidelong glances, but the next betrayal in NFL history didn't lurk in the shadows. It blew up in public. This time, one of the players involved refused to stay quiet. Enter DeMarco Murray and the scandal involving his former Oklahoma teammate, Brennan Clay's wife. What began as a brotherhood in college spiraled into one of football's ugliest betrayals. Murray was a star at Oklahoma, racking up 3,428 rushing yards between 2007 and 2010 and solidifying himself as a can't-miss NFL prospect. Clay's story was far different. As a redshirt freshman in 2010, he scraped together just 127 yards, constantly living in Murray's shadow. Murray was the golden boy, Clay was a role player fighting to be noticed. But the real collision didn't happen on the field. It happened through Clay's girlfriend, Gina D'Agostini, an Oklahoma student who soon found herself at the center of one of sports' most notorious scandals. College circles kept athletes close, temptations closer, and Gina's presence would eventually set the stage for chaos. By 2011, Murray had been drafted in the third round by the Dallas Cowboys, climbing the ranks until his breakout 2014 season as the NFL's rushing leader. Clay, meanwhile, saw his football dreams collapse. He went undrafted, briefly landed with the Denver Broncos, then disappeared from the league altogether. Their paths couldn't have been more different. By 2013, Clay married Gina, while Murray went on to wed actress Heidi Mueller 2 years later. The contrast was stark, one man soaring into superstardom, the other grappling with life after football. That disparity would only magnify the sting when betrayal surfaced. On November 11, 2014, Brennan Clay stunned the sports world with an explosive Twitter thread accusing Murray of carrying on an affair with Gina. And these weren't vague accusations. Clay dropped what looked like receipts, screenshots of intimate text exchanges allegedly between Gina and Murray. They were explicit, emotional, and impossible to ignore. What made the situation even more devastating was Brennan Clay's claim that the affair hadn't just started during Murray's NFL years, it stretched all the way back to their Oklahoma days. If true, this wasn't a fleeting mistake but a years-long deception that shadowed both men's college and professional careers. The text messages Clay posted, partially redacted but still damning, painted a picture of something far more intimate than innocent friendship. This wasn't a rumor planted by a gossip blog. These were direct accusations, backed by what looked like tangible proof. Then came the bombshell confirmation. In December 2014, Gina filed for divorce from Clay, citing irreconcilable differences. The timing was impossible to ignore. Just weeks after Clay's public outburst, the marriage officially collapsed. For many, that legal filing turned whispers into credibility, reinforcing the idea that Clay's rant was more than just bitterness, it was rooted in something real. Clay insisted he had hundreds of incriminating messages, though he only shared a fraction publicly. His choice to air everything out on social media rather than handle it quietly spoke volumes. Was it raw heartbreak spilling into the public eye, or a deliberate attempt to torch Murray's reputation? Either way, the damage was undeniable. Meanwhile, Murray stayed silent. Not a single word. That silence became its own kind of statement. In the midst of a career-best season, rushing for 1,845 yards and earning Pro Bowl honors, he had everything to lose if the scandal caught fire. Some interpreted his refusal to respond as quiet guilt. Others saw it as a calculated decision to avoid fanning the flames. By early 2015, Clay doubled down, telling media outlets he still had the full evidence in hand and pointing to Murray's silence as proof in itself. Yet no lawsuit, no formal action, ever came. The truth remained buried in the court of public opinion, leaving scars that never fully healed. In the end, the Brennan Clay-DeMarco Murray saga never saw a courtroom. No defamation case, no lawsuit, no official legal action ever materialized. That left the scandal suspended in a gray area, unresolved, unproven, but unforgettable. Was Murray truly guilty, or was it simply a betrayal that could never be proven? The receipts Clay shared, combined with Murray's silence, ensured the whispers would never fully die. But not every alleged teammate betrayal comes with screenshots or smoking gun evidence. Sometimes, the drama lives only in shadows and rumors. That's exactly what happened with Colin Kaepernick and Aldon Smith's ex-girlfriend, a scandal that, to this day, remains more speculation than fact. The early 2010s San Francisco 49ers looked like a dynasty in the making. Both Kaepernick and Smith were drafted in 2011, quickly becoming cornerstones of a team that stormed its way to Super Bowl 47. By 2012, Kaepernick had taken the reins at quarterback, electrifying the league with his rocket arm and dangerous mobility. On the other side of the ball, Aldon Smith was a nightmare for opposing offenses, racking up an eye-popping 19.5 sacks in a single season. Under head coach Jim Harbaugh, the 49ers transformed overnight from middle-of-the-pack to championship contenders. On paper, the locker room seemed unbreakable, built on talent, chemistry, and trust. But behind the scenes, whispers hinted otherwise. By mid-2013, anonymous blogs began spreading claims that Kaepernick was romantically involved with Smith's ex-girlfriend. That single rumor was enough to send shockwaves through the fanbase, suggesting there might be fractures hidden inside the team's brotherhood. Unlike other scandals that eventually revealed names, texts, or photos, this one never came with receipts. The woman's identity was never disclosed, which only deepened the mystery. Still, the timing raised eyebrows. Around that same stretch, the 49ers, despite finishing the 2013 season with a strong 12-4 record, fell in the NFC Championship. To many, the sudden dip in chemistry felt like more than just a bad day on the field. Meanwhile, Aldon Smith's personal life was unraveling. DUIs, weapons charges, and legal trouble piled up, clouding his future in football. The idea that he was also clashing with his quarterback over a woman only fueled the narrative that the 49ers' golden era was built on crack open. The idea that Aldon Smith might have been at odds with his own quarterback over a woman gave the whispers a sharper edge. Suddenly, the storyline wasn't just about missed tackles or questionable play calls. It was about personal chaos bleeding into football. By 2014, the 49ers collapsed to an 8-8 record, a stunning fall from grace after years of dominance. Injuries and coaching changes played their part, But lingering rumors of locker room friction only added fuel to the narrative. Some reports even claimed Smith confronted Kaepernick directly about the alleged relationship, though no confrontation was ever confirmed. Kaepernick's public dating life only muddied the waters further. Around the same time, he was linked to multiple women, including celebrities like Tiana Taylor, making it even harder to tell where reality ended and tabloid noise began. With his name constantly splashed across gossip headlines, the truth remained elusive. The drama peaked in August 2015, when Aldon Smith was released by the 49ers after his third DUI arrest. Officially, it was his legal troubles that sealed his fate. But plenty of outlets suggested that locker room tension, including the whispers about Kaepernick, didn't exactly help. Even without hard evidence, the story refused to die, living on in the what-ifs of NFL lore. And while Kaepernick's rumored betrayal with Smith's ex never came with concrete proof, the next case left no such ambiguity. It didn't just rattle locker rooms, it exploded into one of the most infamous trials in American history. Marcus Allen and Nicole Brown Simpson. Two names forever entangled in the O.J. Simpson saga, where the bond between teammates twisted into one of the most scandalous betrayals in sports and celebrity culture. Allen and O.J. weren't just teammates with the Los Angeles Raiders, they were friends. O.J., already a football legend after his Buffalo Bills career, joined the Raiders in 1978. A few years later, in 1982, Marcus Allen arrived, and the two men's connection extended well beyond the field. They shared parties, social circles, and the kind of brotherhood that seemed unshakable, until whispers suggested otherwise. Life in the glamorous orbit of Los Angeles elite only pulled Marcus Allen and O.J. Simpson closer together. Nicole Brown had first met O.J. in 1977 and married him in 1985, stepping into that same glittering world of wealth and celebrity. Through Raiders events and the Simpsons' private gatherings, Nicole and Allen crossed paths regularly, their connection at first appearing to be nothing more than part of the wider social web. But behind the glossy Hollywood image, O.J. and Nicole's marriage was unraveling. Years of documented domestic violence painted a darker reality, one that was impossible to ignore. By 1989, Simpson even pled guilty to spousal abuse, a public stain that confirmed the turmoil insiders already knew about. Jealousy and violence eroded their relationship from the inside out, and in October 1992, the couple officially divorced after 7 turbulent years, citing irreconcilable differences. Yet the end of their marriage was only the beginning of a far more tragic storm. On June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were brutally murdered outside her Brentwood home. The crime horrified the nation and instantly made O.J. the prime suspect. Just days later, the infamous white Ford Bronco chase unfolded live on television, pulling in millions of viewers and cementing the moment as one of the most surreal spectacles in American pop culture. Then came the 1995 murder trial, already the biggest media circus the country had ever seen. And in the middle of that frenzy, another rumor detonated. Whispers that Nicole had been romantically involved with Marcus Allen, O.J.'s former teammate, and a man the public believed to be one of his closest friends.
That Marcus Allen, the very good friend of O.J. Simpson, would allegedly sleep with his ex, Nicole. According to Marcus Allen's lawyer, Ed Hookstratton, quote, "In building their defense, Simpson's lawyers obviously felt it would be beneficial if they could show that their client had not been..."
At that point, the story wasn't only about murder, it was about betrayal striking from within O.J.'s own inner circle. In pre-trial conversations, Simpson reportedly told investigators he believed Nicole had been romantically involved with Marcus Allen. The allegation was explosive, dragging Allen directly into the spotlight. When called to testify, Allen flatly denied the affair, swearing under oath that his relationship with Nicole had never been more than friendship. But in the court of public opinion, the denial couldn't erase the doubt. The very mention of Allen's name had planted a seed of suspicion that refused to go away.
So you mean to tell me that Johnny Cochran would try to pull one black man down to save another, allegedly? Oof. Well, Ed went on to say, quote, "What angered me was the fact that all this was making Marcus and Catherine into 2 more victims and..."
When O.J. Simpson was acquitted on October 3, 1995, the rumors didn't fade, they intensified. Media coverage latched onto the whispers, and even Simpson himself seemed to feed them. In his 1996 book I Want to Tell You, he never mentioned Marcus Allen by name, but his words dripped with jealousy over Nicole's male friendships, leaving little doubt about who he thought had crossed the line. 2 years later, in a 1998 Esquire interview, Simpson dropped the subtlety altogether, bluntly admitting he suspected Allen and even claiming Nicole once confided that she was drawn to the Raiders star. By then, Allen had moved on to the Kansas City Chiefs and refused to add fuel to the fire, standing firm behind his sworn testimony that nothing had ever happened. But tabloids and sports outlets wouldn't let the story go. The alleged affair became a staple on NFL betrayal lists, with some even speculating it had played into Simpson's jealous rage. ESPN's 2016 documentary O.J. Made in America reignited the debate, spotlighting Simpson's obsession but stopping short of the affair. Despite years of speculation, no hard evidence ever surfaced. The accusations rested on O.J.'s suspicions, Ol Cowling's whispers, and endless gossip, all clashing with Allen's firm denial under oath. Even Nicole's diaries, introduced during the trial, spoke of other men, but never Allen. Still, the cloud lingered. His Hall of Fame induction in 2003 and Simpson's 2007 08 armed robbery trial stirred the rumors back up, proving how sticky scandal can be once it's tied to murder, jealousy, and betrayal. Marcus Allen spent decades denying an affair he says never happened, yet the stain of suspicion followed him, a reminder of how devastating an unproven rumor can be. And while Allen fought to clear his name, another NFL figure would go on to admit, openly and unapologetically, that she once set her sights on her partner's teammate. Enter Kelly Stafford, wife of quarterback Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford. Long before NFL stardom and a Super Bowl ring, he was just another rising quarterback at the University of Georgia, and that's where his love story with Kelly began. Their college romance has been dissected endlessly, painted as a fairy tale that started on campus. But years later, Kelly dropped a revelation that stunned fans. She admitted that, in the early days, she deliberately dated one of Matthew's teammates just to make him jealous. It wasn't some rumor whispered in locker rooms, it came straight from Kelly herself. On her podcast, she laughed as she recounted how she thought dating another bulldog would push Matthew into chasing her harder. And it worked. Instead of walking away, Stafford doubled down, fighting for her until the two eventually became inseparable. What could have been a messy betrayal story turned into proof of just how much Stafford wanted her. For fans used to hearing about affairs and teammate scandals ending in disaster, this one stood out. A rare case where a flirtation with the line actually strengthened the bond instead of breaking it.
College relationship was, the typical college, I would say, relationship where there wasn't really one. Because he didn't want one. I dated the backup to piss him off. Like that was the type of situation we were in.
You dirty dog!
Listen, he deserved it, okay? He deserved it.
That backup is crazy.
Matthew's like this genuine soul, and then it was the bad boy, so he
but he's the backup. Like, if I'm Matthew, I'm sending the offensive line after him. Like, get this guy off the team. Get him out of here.
I don't think he saw the field.
Suddenly, the Stafford's love story wasn't just a sweet college romance. It became a case study in loyalty, jealousy, and the unspoken codes of sports culture. Kelly's confession about Joe Cox turned what once looked like playful college drama into a headline-grabbing flash punt. The detail that she wasn't just dating around, but making a calculated move with Matthew's own teammate, gave the story bite. When the 2024 podcast clip surfaced, media outlets ran with it. To some, it was a scandal, proof that even NFL golden couples have messy, complicated beginnings. To others, it was a reminder of how double standards play out in the public eye. Male athletes caught in infidelity scandals are often brushed off with a wink, but Kelly's admission sparked outrage, with critics labeling her manipulative while others argued she was just being transparent about youthful mistakes. The discourse said as much about sports culture as it did about the Staffords themselves. Was Kelly Stafford guilty of betrayal, or was she simply playing the same competitive mind games that college athletes live by? Depending on who you ask, her move was either reckless sabotage, or the bold play that secured her place at Matthew's side for good. Relationships and sports culture often collide in messy ways. Kelly Stafford shocked fans when she admitted to a calculated fling with her husband's teammate. But what happens when a scandal erupts with no proof at all? That's exactly what Baltimore Ravens lineman Ben Cleveland experienced when his name got dragged into the rumor mill. Cleveland, a third-round pick in the 2021 draft, wasn't the type to chase headlines. He built a quiet reputation as a dependable offensive guard, far removed from the chaos that follows many NFL stars. Married to his longtime partner, Kendall Moore, he seemed like the last person you'd expect to see in a tabloid scandal. But on October 17, 2023, the Daily Mail dropped a bombshell. Claims of infidelity swirling around Kendall, with hints that the other man might even be one of Ben's own Ravens teammates. The story didn't offer names, photos, or evidence, just vague sources and suggestive wording. Fans did what fans always do, they started speculating. Big names like Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews were tossed around, not because of facts, but because of fame. The backlash came just as fast. Unlike DeMarco Murray's scandal, which came with text messages, or Kelly Stafford's own confession, the Cleveland story had nothing to stand on. No screenshots, no proof, not even follow-up reporting. Outlets like ESPN and The Athletic ignored it entirely, a silent statement on how thin the claims really were, and here's what made this case unique. It didn't spiral. No lawsuits, no dramatic Twitter rants, no messy fallout. Ben stayed locked in on football, Kendall went private on social media, and the Ravens carried on business as usual. Within weeks, the chatter fizzled. But the takeaway is clear. Sometimes the most dangerous scandals in the NFL aren't the ones with messy receipts. They are the ones built on shadows, where whispers alone are enough to taint reputations. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more deep dives into the wildest scandals and betrayals in sports.